Hello, my name is Harald Klinke. I'm working at the LMU in Munich, and I'm the editor of the International Journal for Digital Art History. And I'm happy to talk to you about articles as data today. And I would like to give you a little idea of how we publish today and what we think the future is for our journal, but maybe for articles in art history in general. Our journal is actually also available as printed version. You can order it, you can take it in your hand, you can flip through it and read an article that you're interested in. But of course, it's also available on our website as open access. You can also visit it, flip through it, and click on an article that you're interested in and look at it as a PDF file or on any device that you like to read it on. But if you look at it, the difference between a printed journal and a conventional PDF journal is not very large. The order in which articles are presented is one article after another, and the elements in that journal are addressed by their page numbers. And if you want to get an overview of what's in the journal, if you want to know how many and what kind of articles are there, you go to the table of contents. So there's not much of a difference. The International Journal for Digital Art History tried to go a little step further, at least, to go in a direction. At first, we said we would like to publish articles as soon as they are through the peer review process and the layout design. So we don't wait until all the articles of that issue are done and then publish, but publish each article by itself. That also makes it necessary that we have not only page numbers, because those articles could be published in a different order than they appear in the issue in the end. So we thought the solution to that is that we give each section a number, and within that section, we have then again page numbers. That makes it easier for us to assemble them in the end into an issue that then we could put online or also print. But looking at a journal not as an issue with articles, but as articles only, we thought, well, then we need also to have an additional user interface, not only a table of contents, and we call that the network map. If you go on our website, you will see something like this. In the middle is an article, and that article is surrounded by keywords, that is topics it's connected with. And you also see those topics are connected to other articles that we have published in that ring that's surrounding that article. And on the outer ring, there are all the topics that we have in our journal. And if you're interested in one of them, you can just click on it, and all articles connected to that topic will appear, and you can click on one of them and you will see how they are connected. You could also go on any topic like cultural analytics in this case, and you see what articles have been published connected with cultural analytics, and you can click on an article that you're interested, like this one. And if you want to read it, you just scroll down and you can see an abstract and you can download the PDF file. So that's totally independent from the issue it is published in. Actually, what we called issues, we now call thematic tracks, because you can always add to that track in the future. So we are on a transition phase from a structure that mimics a printed journal to a structure that allows more possibilities because it's digital and online. So how does our publishing workflow look like? In the beginning, we did everything by email. That was terrible and was a lot of work. We are happy that we're now using a system called the Open Journal system that's provided by our host, the University Library of Heidelberg. We are very happy about that. And as an author, you could submit a Word document to that system, upload it with certain metadata. We as editors, we can download it and redact certain things, for example, upload it again and make it available to the reviewer who might want to add some comments and upload it again to the system. The author can see it again and revise it and upload it again. And then the revised version is on our system. That system is being downloaded by the layout designer who creates a PDF file and uploads it to the system again. And that one is then served to the reader. As we've just seen, you download that PDF file on the front end. In the future, and we hope maybe by the end of the year, we will have a new workflow in place, and that is being developed currently by and tested by the Heidelberg University Library. And that looks like this. The author again submits a manuscript in the Word document format to the system, but the system automatically converts it into an XML file. And that XML file now is at the center of the whole process, and that has many opportunities we will see, because we as editors, we can access that XML file via an editor. You will see later in just a minute how that might look like. The reviewer can also see that manuscript in the web browser, and also the author can then, if revisions are necessary, edit that document on the server. And the interesting thing is that if we are using XML, kind of a source code for the manuscript, we can create a PDF file from it automatically by adding a CSS file that defines the layout that we want. And each journal has a layout that we define in such an additional file. And we can not only create a PDF file, but an HTML file or any file format you would like to imagine, you would like to have. And that then is being presented to the reader, who then can read it on any device wherever the reader might be. So that is only possible with XML in the definition of the journal article tag suite, the JETS XML, that defines in an open format the contents and the elements of that manuscript. How that might look like in the back end for the editors, for the reviewers, and for the author, you will see here. This is not the back end we will be using, but this one is an example, a commercial example, but it gives you an idea how that might look like. So you import a Word document and you define what elements in that document are the title, for example, the subtitle, the abstract, the keywords, which is the main text, the footnotes, and so on. So the system then knows what elements are what in order to convert them later into something else. So what you receive is something like this, a kind of word processor that is online in the browser. You can delete things, you can add things, you can edit things, you can even spell check it. So it replaces your Word program, for example, your Word application. You can then attach a template to it. In this case, there's the Taylor Francis default template, which is their template for their layout, but your journal has its own layout and you just need to define it. And then from the XML file, here you see that on the right side, automatically a PDF file can be generated, or an EPUB file, or any file format that you like, or even an XML file that is then presented via an online viewer. We are using the eLive Lens viewer because it's open source and pretty usable. And that will look something like this. You go on that website, you see the article on the left side. On the right side, you can see the table of contents. You can click on a paragraph. There are some inline elements, for example, illustrations. You can enlarge them. You can also imagine IIIF images here. And you can read through the article and go back to the contents, for example, and somewhere You might find a footnote. You can also click on that and find references there. You can also scroll through the footnotes like endnotes and click on focus, and you will directly go to the place in the text where that footnote appears. So this could also be enriched with, say, video multimedia files or 3D data and so on, whatever you like, because it's web technology. So imagine we have such a system that's XML based, that allows us to use a Word document only as a manuscript in the very beginning, but in the end have an output in any format we would like to have, including such a viewer. Well, then what is the future? I believe part of the future is that references become links. What does it mean? You have that article at the center, but from that article, you can link to the author. You could link to artworks, for example, via Wikidata, via an ID on Wikidata. You can link to artists. You could also link to certain places, for example, via geonames, or link to events and so on. You could also link to data sets that are maybe the basis of your research. And you can link to other articles via the DOI. And because our article also has a DOI, other articles can link to our article. So imagine that in the future to become a web of articles, a web of entities, a web of linked data. So the publishing will become a part of linked open data, or of the knowledge graph, if you will. And the other part of the future imaginable is that if we have XML as the basis of our publishing, we can look at those articles as data sets. What does it mean? It means that here's our article and other articles that we have in our journal. And if we have a system that provides us with an API, we can query those articles. That means we can ask questions to this journal. For example, which is the article that's most requested by readers? Because the data is there. Also, which is the most mentioned artwork in our journal? Or give me all articles that contain a certain keyword. Or if we apply natural language processing to it, we could also ask about contents like who painted this or that painting, or any other query that you can imagine. So why is that such a sea change? Why is that a paradigm shift? Because we change from thinking an article to be just human readable to be articles also being computer readable, because they are in a structured format, that is XML. And that is the change that we can imagine for the future, that we are more independent from issues, that we can publish in the order of appearance, that we address elements via linked open data, that we can build upon this API any user interface you can imagine, and our network map is just one imaginable user interface. You can imagine anything you'd like if you have such an API. And the layout is no more mimicking the printed journal, but it can find formats and appearances in any form that you would like. So it's no more static or fixed, is adaptive, if you like. If you're interested in technical details, I have a few sources for you here that will give you a good impression of what is there already. You can take a screenshot of that. We are happy if you visit our website and follow us on Twitter. And now, I thank you for listening and for looking at my slides, and I'm happy if I get some questions from you and am able to answer them. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.